Okay, hello and welcome to the OnRent Events e-commerce webinar. So today, hopefully, what we'll be looking at is our brand new e-commerce platform that we've developed alongside OnRent Events, which will be the ERP that you guys have set up with, and trying to simplify the customer journey. So first of all, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to join us. I'm going to do a round of introductions to start with. So my name is Bez. You might know me already as the account manager for OnRent Go and Events. If you haven't heard from me or seen my emails before, that's absolutely fine. Following this conversation, anybody that wants to find out a little bit more about the conversations that we've had or wants to go into a bit more detail about what we could do for you, I'm more than happy to pick that up after in a separate conversation. Above this, we've also got Nick Townend, who is our head of product. He's the one that's been developing and working alongside the e-commerce team to make sure this is up and running and is the mastermind behind this software. Nick will probably be joining us towards the latter part of this conversation to support in the Q&A section as a more technical guidance. For any questions that I may not be able to answer through my demonstration or through this presentation, please hold them towards the end of the Q&A. If you find that your question hasn't been answered, more than happy again to take that offline to continue that conversation at a later date. So what are we trying to cover today? Well, the first thing that I'd want to answer is, what is clipboard e-commerce? What have we done to differentiate ourselves from standalone e-commerce sites that everyone else might have? We'll then hopefully go into a product demonstration where I can show to you what the customer journey looks like from the beginning, what they could expect to see when they're placing an order, and then a bit on the customizability section of what we can see, how the system functions and what you can add towards the system. Once we've wrapped that all up, we'll move on to a Q&A where we can look at the questions that you guys have asked and hopefully answer some of the more pertinent questions around that. So to begin with, what is clipboard e-commerce? Well, an e-commerce platform, in essence, is a cloud-based online sales platform, which enables you and your team and your business to rent, sell, and put these products online. The differentiator that we have is that our system is fully integrated into your ERP. So that would be the OnRent Events product you've got, but it also syncs those orders instantly with the system, within the system. The integration is native. Now, the better part of this is the fact that we can spin these servers up very quickly. We can get these things set up in rapid amounts of time. We can get them moving as fast as possible. And another thing that I'm going to be showcasing is that this is a V1. So this is an original version of what we've been able to develop for yourselves. As that said, we're going to be continually developing this product to refine it, to make it as good as possible, and we'll continue to develop it as time goes on. But the other thing is that we've developed this product with your verticals in mind. We've looked at the businesses that we function and that we work with. How do your businesses mold? What is important to you guys? What gets your business going? And so we've led this product to hopefully challenge or take away those challenges that you'll be facing within your business. Now, I've done quite a bit of talking around what it could be, but I think the best way to do this is just to showcase what the product looks like. Now, as you're going to see on screen, here is the e-commerce platform. Now, the e-commerce platform that we've developed, the reason you might ask is, why have we done this? Well, most rental businesses that we refer to or we talk to still rely on phone or email or any other manual entry data points they have. Maybe a hire desk, physically someone comes into the store and has some requirements. Well, what if that entire process had been automated? That's the idea and the thinking behind what we wanted to achieve here. What I'm going to hopefully showcase to you guys in the next few minutes isn't just how a customer, goes into a places an order online. It's the entire ordering process from start to finish being run 24/7 online and fully connected to your OnRent Events system. This isn't just a bolt-on e-commerce tool or just a separate website that needs managing. It sits between both. It's not disconnected to your business. It's deeply connected to the system that you're running, and it works alongside it. What we're going to showcase today will be showing you parts of the pricing, products, information, sections that have been taken out of OnRent Events as your sole source of truth, so that there's no two ways about it. All that information is a single piece of information, and your team can manage that internally and instantly so that it's available for your customers to be able to see online. Now, if it's right in your system, it's right online. No duplications, no mismatches, no rekeying. It takes away from that manual entry point, so there's no mistakes. It's your customer that's put those informations in, so it will be coming to you directly as what they've put in through. Well, let's try and walk through what the customer experience could look like from the moment they land on the site here, running through the quoting process, when they place an order, and how it would look like on your OnRent event system. To begin, you can see a bunch of headers here at the top. You can see a search functionality, you can see a logo, and you can see a hero image. These sections are all highly customizable. These areas can be placed in any way that you like within your website. We can go into a bit more detail later about that, but the idea here is to make it as unique to you and your business as possible. If we scroll down, we can see here, first set up your hiring period. This could be in the case that you know when you need something hiring, but you're not really too sure what it is that you're trying to hire. The next part will be the event builder. This, I think, is a unique selling point for Clipboard e-commerce. Reason why, and I'll go into a little bit more detail later, but this captures information that we've had from previous businesses and a little bit of AI magic to be able to allow the customer to follow out some information and be able to drive products from your website and showcase what would be useful for that event and what wouldn't. We've also got some images that you can hyperlink, of which you can add more to. But without further ado, let's look at what it looks like when someone wants to hire something. To begin with, I'm just going to log in really quickly. This is going to make sure that the system understands and knows that this is my account. We're going to go into the computer section because I'm looking to hire a computer. First of all, when you go into one of these headers, what you can see is the hire period again. I haven't selected one, but had I selected one earlier, it would port over to this section. Whether you're hiring something or whether you're purchasing anything, or if it's any of them, you can drill down into these areas. You can also set popularity sections, as you'd expect for the functionality of most e-commerce websites. Now I want to rent an iMac. So I'll go onto the iMac 21.5 inch. This will be what they land onto. You can either add an image, multiple images, or even a video. For now, we've kept it simple for the purposes of this demo, but the idea here will be that's the information. This is the image. You've got an hourly rate from how much it's going to cost, the cost excluding that, the hire period. So at this point, I'm going to place it from Monday the 6th to Friday the 10th. We will apply that, and it will tell you what the hourly rate again is for me. These can also include specific rates for customers. We can look at that a little bit further later. Furthermore, you can share this with anyone else that you would like. And if you're having any trouble with the order or you're a bit curious about something, you can also reach out with the helpline and call the company directly. You've also got required bundle items. This includes mandatory accessories, so USB-C charger, or even an optional accessories. And these sections I'll explain a little bit further when we go further down in the quoting process. You've got a description section, so you can describe what it is you're looking at, and a technical specification. Now, these will be custom fields that you can check within your OnRent event system. If everything's happy and we're good to move forward, we can add this to a quote. Once we get to this next stage, this part is an upsell opportunity. Like I described earlier, there's also accessory sections. So you've got your mandatory accessories. This is mandatory. This cannot be removed. So this is something that has to come with the product. But you've also got your recommended accessories. So your chance to upsell. Would you like a wireless keyboard and mouse with your iMac? Yeah, you know what? I would like to have them all together. Let's add those to the basket as well. Once that's been registered, you'll see at the top right, this has been added to the basket successfully. So what we'll do is we'll go to the basket and view what we have here. It will let you know if any of the prices have changed. You can look at a list view, company grid, or even a compact grid to see what it is you're looking at very clearly. I'm going to leave this into a list view for the purposes of this demo. You can also edit the accessories last minute. Let's say you get to a point where you're like, maybe I don't need one of these things, or maybe I should add something else. This would be a stage for that customer to do so. You can also choose here whether you want to deliver this or whether you want to click and collect. And it will let you know about the estimated hire total, the delivery, if there's any delivery charges that need to be added, and what will be due today. So we'll go to the checkout section. At the checkout section, again, standard process. Contact details will be required, email address, contact telephone. You'll also be expected to put in an address. You can set some addresses for billing and for delivery, or you can add an entirely new address if you'd like at this stage. Again, throughout the whole process, you'll be able to see what it is in your basket and what you're hiring to make sure there's complete transparency in what's going on through the process. We'll press save and continue. And at which point you're giving this final stage look through window to make sure you're happy with everything in your order. You can also place special instructions toward the supplier or towards your business so that the customer can say, hey, what's this for? Or where is this going? Any customer order numbers. Let's say you want to attach this to something else. If we're happy with everything, I'm going to move forward and place the order. So you'll see this little animation go by saying the backend is taking the information, at which point you'll be notified your reservation has been requested. We will be in touch. You'll get an order reference number, which will be emailed to you and the customer to let you know that this has happened and thanking you for the order. And then a little description of what the order was. If we move over back to our current system, what you'll see in the opportunities list that order reference has come through. If we click down into it, what we'll find is that the order that I've taken for the amount of price and the dates that I've taken it have turned up through here, inclusive of the items and accessories that I've added to here. This will then go to your team and your system to be able to follow through however they like. Now, the other part I wanted to showcase was what I spoke about earlier, was that unique selling point, the event builder. So the event builder, like I said, was a AI generated or helpful task tool for customers that might not know necessarily exactly what they need. So they might need a little bit of guidance. So we'll start again here. What is it that I'm looking for? Well, personally, I'm looking for a social event. So we'll start with that. We'll continue on. What's the event name? Well, I want a birthday party. And I'm going to invite 50 people together for a music festival with a local band for my birthday. You also specify how many people you think you're going to have, and it will again populate the information to the right on the preview section. We'll continue to the date and time and location. So these are the dates and times preset from previously, but let's say I need to change those dates, I can do so now. Would I like to click and collect, or I need it as a delivery? Well, for now, I'm going to put it as a delivery, and we're going to confirm the address. All things considered, we're happy with that. We'll continue to the next stage. Now, the system has notified that we'll likely need 50 chairs, 50 people that we've got coming, some LED lamps, a speaker kit, and a speaker stand. But it's also got sections that it hasn't pre-filled, thinking, well, these could be useful, but they're not necessary. So if you'd like to add them, you can, but you don't have to. Let's add them both so we can see the change in the estimated price. Once we're happy with that, we can add that to the basket. And once that's done, again, same sort of situation, you'll find all the items within the system. Finally, I wanted to talk about customizability. So one aspect is within the admin console. When you go into the back end, what you'll find is there's a lot of customizability around this website. There's also information about the sales the graphs, information about how the system's working. But for the most part, what I wanted to showcase was the storefront theme. You're able to go into the back end and decide logo uploads. You've got your hero section, and the simplicity of this allows for anyone to be able to take on this system, be able to look at it, and be able to control how your website looks from the back end, simply, fast, and efficiently. This also ties in with the fact that what we're trying to develop here is a system that allows you to get off the ground running as soon as possible, getting out your rental products and your sales products to be able to generate as much money as possible from your growth. Well, that's all from me for now. If you're excited or interested to learn a bit more about what we've got, if there's anything you think I've missed, more than happy to go over that on a one-to-one basis. But for now, I appreciate your time. I'm going to hand over to Nick to answer some questions.